Welcome to the Obsessed With podcast. We are your hosts, Kim and Aaron. We've been together since 2007, and we are the co-founders of Travsessed.
And we've also been full-time travelers since 2012.
That's right, crazy.
Which is insane. Join us here as we pull back the curtain with fun, juicy, and honest conversations. We're gonna dive into all the things that you might be navigating too, like figuring out how to add more travel and adventure into your life, which PS, this is our specialty, navigating big transitions, relationships and marriage, deciding whether or not kids fit into the picture in your 40s, and most importantly, how to create a life of freedom on your own terms.
Consider this podcast your official permission slip to unapologetically do life your way and be able to change your mind a million times along the way and know that you are not alone.
Our goal with this podcast is to create a fun, zero judgment, happy hour style space where we can all just hang out, have real conversations, and navigate all the life things together.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let the obsession begin.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Obsessed With podcast. This week we are being obsessed with relationships. We have a fun little relationship topic that we're going to get into, which I think should be a lot of fun, as Kim just double picks her nose.
I can't. I have boogers.
I understand, but like right in the middle of what I'm talking, you just have two fingers going at it.
Way to call me out, bro.
I mean, it is what it is.
We all pick our nose. Can we just all be real for a second? We all pick our nose. I don't care who you are. You're picking your nose. I saw you the other day rolling your fingers together, which I didn't see the actual pick part, but I knew you did it because I could see you rolling something in your fingers. So
when was that?
When we were driving.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm always boogery, so then I get it on my fingers. So where am I going to put it?
Exactly. Everyone picks their nose, so let's all calm down.
Well, I mean, you were two fingers digging in. Like, I think there's a level of like, I get the edge here, like, to make sure there's nothing. But I mean, you were like, I couldn't even see half your phalange.
Just to put context behind it, like funny side note, if my friend Chrissy from high school is listening,
Put her on blast.
I used to sleep over at her house and we would like sleep in the same bed and I would sleep by the wall and I would like pick my boogers and put them on the wall and she'd always so mad, like, why do you have to do that?
Yeah, why
like,
do you do that?
Would you rather me like put them on the sheets? Like, I'm doing you a favor. But that I was always known for putting my boogers on the wall. Okay, let's move on.
I mean, the thing is that's gonna like stain and crust over versus like get vacuumed up.
Yeah. Anyhow. Okay. So before we get into the topic, do you want to do a quick little lifey update?
Yeah.
So we're recording this on Saturday.
Wow, look at us go.
I already have the Sunday scaries.
Why is that?
Because I'm starting my new job. What the fart? Yeah, wow. It's crazy because I got the PRN job. So I took a PRN position at Aaron's hospital where he's currently a traveler. And I took the job. I like it was like a super casual interview, but did the interview, got the job. But it almost feels like a month ago.
It almost was.
I think it was. Because that's the other thing is they do their orientation like every other Monday. So you can only start on like certain days. So my orientation was June 30th.
Well, that was funny because technically you were interviewing on the Monday of their orientation, but you wouldn't have been ready to go by the next orientation. So then you had to wait 2 more weeks. So it was, because even the doc I was working with yesterday was like, is your wife
girl?
Is she gonna work?
Yeah.
Like, when is she starting? And I was like, orientation's Monday. And they were like, oh my God.
So when I got the job, I was like, yay, I'm so excited. This is a really good move for us. I get to get back in the hospital, keep my skills up, but still get the flexibility because I'm PRN to work on the Travsessed stuff, all the things. But now that it's like go time, I'm like, and holy shit, I'm starting on Monday, right? Like it's easy to kind of be like, yeah, like let's go until it's the moment of, and you're like, oh my God. Like, and Monday is just an orientation, a hospital orientation, which I'm like, I haven't done an actual real hospital orientation in a really long time. And when I went to HR to I had to do like my drug screening and the health test and like a bunch of different stuff. And apparently, so I took my picture for my badge. They don't give you your badge. So I took my picture, they made the badge. And then apparently here at I don't know if it's all Advents, but this one, they give you a heart. It's a big heart that you clip, you clip your badge to. You know what I'm talking about? Like the clips, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's a heart. And then it says I treat my patients like I treat and then you have to put in.
Like a family member.
Yeah. And somebody you love. And she's like, okay, so who do you want to put? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got nervous. And so I ended up just saying my family because I feel like that encompasses all the people I love. But anyways, she puts that on there. She had a label maker and everything and puts that on there. And then apparently so then she kept it. The day of orientation, you have to do something to earn your heart.
Yeah, you have to do a whole presentation on why people you have to come up with it. It has to be heartfelt, and then based off of the clappers, you have to have majority doing clappers for you to win your heart. Okay,
that's not true. That's not true. Listen, I hate shit like that, and it's funny because the orientation kind of things, getting to know each other, and you have to clap, it's so freaking stupid. But it's funny because on our Travsessed trips, and I feel like we do always say this, we know it's kind of not, what's the word, cheesy, but because we all go around, introduce ourselves and who you are, where you're from, what you do. And it is kind of cheesy, but it's also, you gotta that. How else are you going to know the person's name and what they do? Right. So it is kind of an icebreaker. Right.
No, and I think it is an icebreaker, and they try to do it as fun and controlled as possible, but it is very forced and very corny. Mm-hmm. And that's the first feeling. And I think a lot of it is you get in your own head of I don't want to do this because I don't want to be put on the spot. So then what do? You deflect and you just call it what it is. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Right. So then it makes you feel better of I didn't choose to do this. And I think it's funny because the new game that we play on our trips, when it first was introduced.
What new game?
The new game that we started, that was started in New Zealand, which then we brought to Bali.
Oh, the name game?
The name game, which is actually very corny.
It's so corny.
But, again, even in Bali, at the end, everybody was still naming off everybody's names, and it is so it works.
So that's actually a really good example because our New Zealand trip, we were working with two guides that we had never met before, right? Mm-hmm. And first time working with them. So we all get together first time. We had already had our welcome dinner, right, which we do names, all of that. But then we play our card game, the Travsessed card game, where we answer questions. And that is a really great way to get to know people. I should take that to orientation and be let's all go around and pass a card. Even though you're nervous to be put on the spot, but it does open up a conversation versus kind of.
Hey, real quick, we hope you're loving today's episode, and we wanted to take a moment to keep you in the loop. If you work in healthcare, or you're a healthcare traveler, or you know someone who works in healthcare and is interested in fun adventure travel, you've got to know about our Travsessed Adventure Trips. And listen, we get it. Working in healthcare can feel really demanding, overwhelming, and stressful. We spend so much time taking care of others that we forget to take care of ourselves.
So let us take care of you on a Travsessed trip. Once you sign up for a trip, we literally take care of everything. The planning, the logistics, and all the little details. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and make unforgettable memories with a group of like-minded, adventurous travel friends. This is your time to step away from the chaos, recharge, have some fun, and come back feeling like the best version of you. Everyone who comes on a Travsessed trip says you come as strangers, leave as family. Literally. Travsessed trips have sparked dozens of new friendships, adventure squads, and travel soulmates that last way beyond the trip.
And honestly, it's not about the places we go. It's about the amazing people you meet along the way. We personally plan every itinerary based on our own travel adventures, so we have been there, done that, and know all the best things to do and see that you would not find on your own. Plus, we've got some awesome local friends on the ground to help us make each trip extra fun, special, and totally unique. Our trips are for active adventurers who like to get out of their comfort zones and push their limits. And the best part? We keep our groups small and intimate so you can form real connections like really, really fast.
So if you're ready to ditch the planning stress, find your adventure crew, and travel like never before, head over to imtravsessed.com and grab your spot on one of our next adventures.
That's imtravsessed.com.
Or you can send us a DM over on Instagram at Kim and Aaron G.
That is KIMANDERRANG.
Just DM us the word adventure and we can chat more about it. You can also find our Instagram, our website. Everything is linked in the show notes below. Also, at the time of this recording, we have 3 spots left to join us in Oaxaca, Mexico in 2025, which honestly is one of our favorite trips. Yeah. So you can head over to our website, check that out. And we also have so many more fun adventures coming your way in 2026.
We cannot wait to see you on one of our life-changing trips. Now let's dive back into the episode. But they also have they can't spend an hour and a half.
That's true. Just like keep going. Yeah. It's definitely more fun too with like wine.
Yeah.
It kind of relaxes people a little bit more. But so we had already done that, right? With our group, getting to know each other at our welcome dinner as we do. Next day, we're meeting our New Zealand guides. Okay. So like our local guides that we're going to be with. And Chris, who was our main guide, who we absolutely love, but she's like, okay, guys, we're going to play this game. And you have to go around and say like, I'm Kitty Kim and I'm, energetic Aaron. And like, you have to go around and then everybody has to repeat. And I remember being like, oh my God, is this really?
I almost told her we don't need to do this.
Yep, me
because
too.
We already did a welcome, but then I realized that she wanted it for her.
Yep.
But good.
So I was just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, why are we doing this? Like, they don't even know our group. Like, these guides are going to be so bobo. Like, this is so silly. And then we all did it. And because, you're a good, you got to be a good sport, right?
She wasn't giving us an option.
That's true. That's true. And we all did it. We laughed. I really do feel like it brought us together. And that particular group, the New Zealand group, we all called each other that the whole time. Mm-hmm. We didn't even call each other by our names, really. It was just like freaking Journey. Like, mm-hmm. I don't even remember her real name,
You do.
But like Money Myra, like, what's up, Money? I just feel like it became this thing that seemed so corny, but yeah, it really did serve a purpose. It really was fun. Obviously, we loved Chris and Emma. They were not cheesy or corny at all, but it's that initial kind of thing. Like, I had that going into this orientation, like, oh, it's going to be so cheesy. But also you just got to show up and do it. And like, maybe I'll meet somebody.
Well, I can tell you, number one, I have noticed that if you didn't do that, like, you will see people in the hospital that you did orientation with.
Yeah.
In the cafeteria. And you're instantly like, hey, how are you? Like, how was your first day? Like, how's your first week? Like, there's a sense of connection, a sense of community. We started together.
Yeah.
Right? And we're in this, even though you don't work in the same department, you probably hardly ever see each other, but you will.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, I know. So
it works.
It does work, even though in the moment you're like, oh God. I'll report next week of what I had to do to earn my heart because I'm nervous about it. But yeah, so I start Monday orientation, and then the rest of the week I'm like actually in the department doing, department training. And yeah, so I'm just kind of like feeling all the feels. I haven't had Sunday scaries again in 2 years. Like I have been working in Travsessed full time for 2 years. So all of this kind of stuff is so foreign to me. So yeah, it's a big transition. I'm excited, but I'm also kind of nervous.
I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
I'm excited we get to work together.
I mean, it'll be fun. And I mean, my department's excited, like, to have you on board, like, to be, but we never
Are they going to have a welcome party?
No, we never see ultrasound, so I don't know how that works, but.
Maybe we could have a lunch date.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I mean, you and I can.
That's what I mean.
We don't hardly ever do team lunches, but.
I don't want to have lunch with your team. I want to have lunch with you.
Well, they're fun.
Oh, well.
Anyway, you can come over and say hi.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So that's kind of going what's happening. We'll report next week. Oh, also last thing is we hiked our first 14er here in Colorado. So we've hiked obviously above 14,000 feet before.
Yes.
With, Everest, Salcantay, whatever. But this was so the Colorado 14ers are a thing here. I think there's 50 of them.
There's a lot more than that.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
But like people, what did our friend Ellen called it? Peak
chase.
Peak finders or something?
No, that's an actual like app.
Peak pocketers. They like want to pocket
peaks.
All their peaks. So it's like a thing. Like how many 14ers have you done? Like it gives you like clout. Like in Colorado, it's like a thing. And so we've been wanting to do them since we've been here. And we did our first one with our friends Ellen and Steve last weekend. Mm-hmm. And especially because we're getting ready to go to Peru, to be able to have that kind of challenge and see what we felt like.
Yeah,
and it was pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
For me, it was the entire experience.
Okay,
right. I don't know. I think it was a lot more special. I'm glad we did it that way, where we like drove for a couple hours, and then we explored a new little town that we'd never been to, and then we found. We did the dispersed camping, and like we went and hunted down our campsite, and then we set up, and then we had dinner, and then we woke up early, and then we had our campsite to come back to. And like, it was the entire experience for me that I would continue to do / like it lit a fire under my ass to like buy a van.
Oh God.
I can tell you that much.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I would literally be a peak pocketer around Colorado every single weekend if I had a van. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, dude, that would be so epic.
Goals.
Yeah.
But we did camp. It was our first time camping. We've only camped twice, like ourselves without a team, like on one of our Travsessed trips. And so we camped once for our first year wedding anniversary, and then Yosemite. And that was it. Mm-hmm. So I thought we were staying in a campground. And so with like bathrooms, whatever. And so they call it dispersed camping or wild camping, but which basically just, it's like a whole thing. Like people, they have all these open spots and you kind of just like find a spot and you set up camp, which was really cool because you can go anywhere. So we were able to go closer to the trailhead. The only thing is there wasn't bathrooms. But I did do my first number 2 in the woods. And I'm really proud of that.
Me too, because
that was a big deal.
I mean,
I was so nervous about that.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it, but
we had like our own little area of woods, and it felt actually very relaxed. Like you kind of just get used to it. It's like, I got to go to use the facilities, and I would just go back and like go to the bathroom, and it feels way more cleaner than a nasty bathroom, and you just find like a flow with it. I'm like, actually, this is kind of cool. I did keep like looking around to make sure there wasn't like a bear or a mountain lion coming while I was, doing my good work, but it was
bury it.
So Ellen had what is it called? A hatchet. So I guess you're supposed to dig a hole and then do it and then like bury it. But I didn't have a hatchet because I had to go and it was in the morning. And so I wasn't going to be like, hey guys, like knock on their tent. Can I have your hatchet? So I just went and then I covered it up with leaves. Well,
Okay.
is that frowned
You
upon?
couldn't like have dug a little hole?
With my nails? With my hands? Ew.
Or like a stick.
I mean, listen, it's like baby steps. Just
Yeah.
even being able to do that.
That's true.
Because being relaxed enough to be able to do that.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, come on.
I agree.
So next time we'll get a hatchet.
Okay.
It will not be our last time. I'm hooked. That whole weekend made me fall in love with Colorado even more. Like the fact that was 2 hours away from us in our backyard, like wild country, surrounded by mountains, climbing a 14er. Like I am so in love with this state.
I'm actually really excited. Like I had an amazing time with Steve and Ellen, but it actually made me more excited just to go do it with you.
Go wild camping, the two of us?
Yeah.
I'm excited. We got to get all of our gear.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
The only problem is LaRue.
Yeah, we did have to get a sitter for LaRue because she obviously can't come hiking with us and we can't leave her in the tent for, so that is the thing we have to be able to, find a place for her. So,
Totally.
All right. Anywho, that's the update. So the topic.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this topic is relationship-y, and I'm really excited actually to talk about it because I was listening to another podcast that I was listening. I'm like, what? Like, it's crazy that so many people think and feel this way, which then you and I ended up talking about in the car because I brought it up. I'm like, what do you think about this? Right. And so it kind of opened up a conversation where like, this is actually kind of a fun podcast topic. Okay. So how it came about, I was listening to Bo and Stassi. They have a podcast where they talk about their like family life, their relationship, all of that. And so it started because Stassi was saying how like she doesn't want to pee in front of him. Like Bo will walk in and she's peeing and she's like, get out, close the door. And he's like, you always used to pee in front of me. Like, why are like, what the heck? And so they started talking about, and Stassi said, okay, so, and I quote, because I wrote this down because that's what triggered me. She said, we all know this. Who you date is not who you marry. And we all need to know this. Basically saying like was playing a cool girl when they were dating, but we all know who you're dating is not actually who you're going to end up marrying. Like you kind of play a part when you're dating, but then as soon as you're married, you act differently or do different things. And I thought that was a good conversation because it's like I hear a lot of people say like, oh, you used to do that before we got married and now you don't do it any blah, 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 blah. And it's just.
This fires me up so much.
Okay. So what's your thought about that first?
I mean, it fires me up because I don't feel that way, but I also have seen just as an individual, I mean, I feel like I think and feel like a small percentage of I'm not saying that I'm the only one that feels this way, but like I think the way that I think and process things is on a smaller scale compared to the mass, right? And like it also, that kind of stuff, okay, that reason is that reason being that I don't believe this and I don't believe that our relationship is like this is why we are married and have a good relationship, have an amazing relationship, is because I do not believe we followed this. I also believe that is also a problem in relationships. It's a problem in business. It's a problem in the world. It's a problem in the job. It's why I don't like interviews. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's so many connected things in that I feel like people play into what they think is what people want and it's not their true selves. And I think that is honestly a problem within the world in general, that if that's just how it's supposed to be, the whole fake it till you make it, the whole like, no, like that shit's going to come out and it's going to backfire.
So you're saying kind of having a false advertisement, essentially, of this is who I'm pretending to be for a period of time? Or do you think it's pretending to be versus just putting your best self forward in the beginning? Because I'm really trying to think about it. So when you're first dating, right? Because okay, and I'm not talking about the evolution of a marriage or the evolution of a relationship, right? Because obviously you are going to grow as a person. You are going to change as a person. Like, we've been together for almost 20 years. We are not the same people. You hope you are not the same person. So I'm not talking about that when it's like the growing, the changing, the shifting, the becoming different versions of yourself. I'm talking about like kind of this stuff is like, I'm pretending to be this way versus once I get you, right? And I think like a lot of women talk about that, like once you get the ring, then it's like you got him, and then you're going to kind of switch, right?
Which is so messed up.
It's very bizarre. But do you think it's a false advertising versus like, do you think that when you and I first started dating, which is weird because we never
really dated.
Have that. Like, so put a pin in that for a second, because I'll circle back to that, because our relationship started a little bit differently. And I'm wondering if that also plays a role in that. But don't you think, okay, even in the beginning when we're together now, right? Do you feel like you are putting your best foot forward, like your best self more in the beginning? Because it is new and you are like, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't want to be naive to the fact that like, and act like it didn't happen. And I'm trying to like think of examples. I do think that there's, for instance, your birthday, right? Like planning out that whole thing and doing clues and like just going super extravagant.
That's true. You don't do that anymore.
No. Why? Why?
Because you got me. You hooked me and you wrote me in, and now you don't do anything like that anymore. You used to plan all these elaborate scavenger hunts and like all these surprises.
And it's not an excuse, but I will say that I probably shouldn't have spent that money in the first place. And I think as a relationship, you're like, do I really need to go that extravagant? Like, if I literally planned that for you, it would literally be, and I think our relationship wise, you would love it in the moment. But I guarantee you on the way to where we're going, you'd be like, how much was this?
No.
No?
Here's a smaller scale. Again, it doesn't like what you used to do, like very elaborate things. I mean, so did I, right? Like, remember when I got you the Jaguar tickets and I did this big thing?
Bought
and like,
jerseys and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Parking passes. I mean, you went all out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We did a lot of really cool things for each other. And yes, they were like expensive things, but you used to come into work when we worked together, and you would like bring me an Angie sub, or you would bring me an Arizona iced tea. Remember? Because I loved those. Mm-hmm. And like, that doesn't cost any money, but a lot of money. But like, you would, come up and like have dinner with me or bring me something. And you're obviously going out of your way. Like, you don't do that anymore.
Well, but think about that.
Okay. If I'm working across the street and I'm on shift, are you coming up and bringing me an Angie sub? Exactly.
Unless you want it.
Because we're married.
No, unless you want it, right?
Right, unless I want it.
How many times have you come to have lunch with me?
Not once.
Not once.
Is there truth to this, is what I'm saying?
No. Okay. Yes, there's truth. And this is what I'm saying is this topic is interesting because I also don't run in a world that I believe that everything is black or white. There's a lot of gray. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that, like, to be honest with you, we've been together how many years? Total? 17.
17.
Okay. 17 years. When you're first dating, you're doing everything in your power to be around that person because you don't know when the next time is.
Yeah.
We don't live together. We have different lives. We're trying to bring our lives together. But like now I know you're coming home. So why am I running out to sit and have lunch with you unless it meant something to you of like, hey, I'd really like you to come have lunch with me. And that's special to me because it gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Right? But like.
No,
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny because I think that there is truth to, yes, of course, in the beginning, you're good. Like the other day when you wanted me to come up and bring you Chick-fil-A for lunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, like, 'cause I had stuff to do and whatever. But if we were in just dating, I wouldn't have I would be like 100% I'll come up and have lunch with you. Right. Like, so I do think that there is like, you kind of go above and beyond in the beginning. And honestly, within a relationship, a marriage, as long as we've been together, that is something you have to constantly be putting attention on and talking about and making conscious efforts, because it is very easy to just fall into a pattern and into a normal routine. I mean, we were just talking this morning about putting back on the calendar, because we go through phases with this. So sometimes we're really good at it. Sometimes we're not. But doing a date night once a month where I plan one, you plan one. And making a conscious effort to do that, right? Because
Agreed.
I do. So, okay, but because I feel like we're kind of going in a different direction.
No, I think it's all tied together.
Because if you go back, we're also talking about not necessarily putting in effort, because I do think that is something in the beginning people naturally do more of. And then as you stay longer, you have to kind of work on it a bit more. But it's kind of pretending to be somebody you're not.
Correct.
And I think the genesis of our relationship was built on a friendship. So I do think that we kind of bypass that maybe in a way too, because we were just friends. Like you would come over and you would have Jack and Diet. I would have a Captain and Diet Big Gulp. And we would sit in the living room or like I remember the little computer area, and you would sit in that chair. I would sit on the floor or the couch or whatever. And we would just like talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I feel like, so we got to know each other as just like who we were individually without putting on some kind of a front or a show, because we were truly just friends.
I also believe that that's a pie chart, right? Like that whole thing's a 3-segment pie chart, right?
Okay.
Do I like you? Like, do I like you? Are we like cool?
Yeah.
Because you can be cool with someone, but be sexually attracted to them. And it kind of be like, like I'd really like to have sex with this person, right? Or you're like, I like them. And then I think the other pie chart is sexual connection. And are your needs met in that area? And then the other one is like, I'm going to say like all the other stuff, right? There's another section of like, how do you live your life? Like, how are you as a normal person, right? Because we just got to really fill in the gaps of that first part of the pie, and it passed, right? Like we were like, cool.
Oh, you mean we like each other?
Yeah. But when you're talking about, will this relationship turn into something major, right? Versus what is the initial thing? And I think, are we getting at that?
I think you're missing my point.
But it's Bo and Stassi talking about you don't marry who you date. So if you're talking about a long-term vision.
Yeah, my question was, do you think that because you and I were just friends, like we would go and have a lunch together, or we were with other people or whatever, like we were just, or you would come over to my house, like we were just quote unquote friends. So like we were just getting to know each other as getting to know each other. We weren't dating. It's not like you're like, would you like to go on a date with me? And then I'm like, oh, I'm on a date. Am I going to act a little bit differently versus like you just coming over and us sitting around talking?
I mean, it's semantics, right? Like, honestly, me calling you like on the weekend and being like, hey, let's meet at Olive Garden. Like, my day off this week is on Wednesday. Let's meet at like 12 before you go to work at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a date. It's just me and you, dude. Like, let's be honest of what that really is.
Yeah. I just wanted a free meal. Just kidding. I think I probably...
You wanted a free meal and you wanted to show off that you memorized the entire
did.
Olive Garden dessert menu word by word.
I tried to impress you.
So it was a date.
Well, friend date, but yes.
Okay, because we weren't touching or kissing or there was no pressure.
Yeah, there was no pressure. That's what it was.
But it was still a date.
Yeah, ish, but it wasn't, semantics, right? But we were friends meeting up to have a lunch date. But I just have a great example of how you were different before we got married.
Okay.
So let's take it back. We're working together. We're just friends. Okay. And this is when you were an x-ray tech, and you had a bag of trolleys, and I was talking with you, whatever, and you had to like go do a case or something. I don't remember. And you were like, oh, you can have some, whatever. Again, we're not getting into this. I thought you were giving me the trolleys.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
Okay.
I'd like to put a mark at that moment. You thought I was giving you the trolleys, but
I thought you said here, have them.
That's not what you just said, and I can go back and play this. You said,
okay,
I was going to do a portable, and I said you can have some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these. You can have some of these.
So so you're already showing your true colors. So I went back to my little room. I ate all the trolleys.
In the time frame that I did one portable.
I don't think there were, in my defense, we were sharing, and I do not think that there were that many left at the time.
Okay. Did you or did you not open the bag yourself?
I don't remember. This was a long time ago.
It was a sealed bag. I was working overnight.
Okay. My point here is not to argue about the logistics or the semantics of what happened, but you came back, I had ate all the trolleys. Okay. Now you were like, oh, like you ate them, haha, laughed about it. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. Never made a thing about it. Now I know. Now that I know you do not, oh my God, if I did that right now, I think it would be grounds for divorce. Like,
are you really going to say something like that?
Obviously, not like the D, but I'm saying.
Why would you say that?
Because I'm trying to express the gravity
you think
of if I ate a whole bag of trolleys that you were looking forward to, you would be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you don't share food. You do not like to share food. So, and that's fine. But you, back then, because you liked me or we were just friends, you were like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I'm sure you went back to your x-ray room and like fucking like punched the walls.
No, I went back and told everybody, and I was like, who does stuff like that? Like, what kind of monster?
It's so much.
Literally,
but you didn't say it to my face.
No, because I also think that, like, I don't care who you are, whether it's a relationship or not. If somebody else at the workplace did that, like, that's crazy.
It's just funny.
I'm not going to pull a Ross and be like, my sandwich.
But you would, and you did.
But now I think we're close enough, which you would do with close friends and close relationships of like, bro, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And to think that our relationship is as flighty as a bag of trolleys, like, we would have a discussion. I would be upset. And I would, honestly, my thing would be like, apology. You know what? I got a little carried away. I enjoyed them. I ate a whole thing. But guess what? I'm going to run down to the gas station, whatever, and grab you another bag.
I know. It's the point of it. It's just funny of like, in that moment, you were like, okay, whatever. But what did I do? The next day, I brought you a bag
of Bobo-ass trolleys.
Oh, they were glowworms. And I didn't know there was a difference. But I had the thought of I'm driving into work and I'm going to stop and get you a bag of gummies since I 8 years. And I gave them to you. And I thought that was really sweet.
You know, that was one of the major moments that I was like, wow, I think we might be more than friends.
Because I brought you glowworms?
No, because, and again, with me, it's a lot deeper. Like the fact that you realized, and I never made a big deal, but you could tell I was visibly like, what the, like I said, you could have some of those. Like, can't believe you ate the whole bag. But like you went out of your way to stop in and get me those and just, hey, I'm sorry, I ate your haha. Yeah. And it became a whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
It became a joke.
There became like this connection in between us bound by gummy worm, glowies.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Like, that's something that we had. So it's like the fact that you thought of me.
Of course. course.
You could have easily just eaten my bag and been like, I don't really care what this guy thinks.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted a bag of gummies. I took it and I took advantage and I enjoyed them. And that could have been the end of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I also think it built, but I don't want to lose like.
Okay. Good. I was going to say another part, because they were talking about this, is you're also not just like going around, like when you and I are talking and I'm not like lifting up my cheek and just like farting. Right? Like, so that was the other thing, is like when you're dating, you're not like fluffing in front of each other. So, and like, okay, and that's true.
Is it though?
When did we first fluff in front of each other?
I don't even know, because I never thought it was a thing.
Fluffing?
We're also both medical. So like,
I don't care if you're medical. Listen, like there is, if you and I are like, that is very interesting, because now we've been together for so long. We're literally on the couch watching a movie and I'm like, what is it called?
crop dusting.
Dusting, but what's the oven? Oh, Dutch ovening you?
You do not throw it over my face.
It's like, whatever, who cares? Like, everybody fluffs. Like, I could never be in a relationship where like I wouldn't be able to fluff or go to the bath. Like, that's normal. I'm never going to go to the bathroom. Number 2, in front, like that's crossing a line for me.
Okay, we also don't chat back and forth while the person is in the bath.
Sometimes.
I do not.
How many times I say, babe, I'm not going to talk to you while you're in there doing a number 2. We can talk when you're done, okay? Like, that's just a line that it's like, ew. But if you were over at my house and we were dating, or we were just like how we used to be friends and like watch a show or whatever, and I would never want to just sit and fart in front of you. So what's that?
Well,
that is weird.
Okay, it's the same thing with like you. Okay, I just think that there are rules within the world that are unexplainable. And there's, okay, like for instance, why do you think they have, what's it called? Like, not manners, but like manners school or what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, etiquette, right?
Yeah.
They have etiquette classes. Like, what is that? Like, etiquette is, in my opinion, a perception, right? But then again, there is, like, if you go to a dinner, like with a work group, or we might say, oh, that group is really prude.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, God, like, get off yourself. Like, who cares, right? But like, you don't pick your nose at a table. You don't like you don't burp at a table, right? But like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, so there
I'm not talking about with other people. I'm talking about together.
I understand, but in that first little moment, it is other people. You don't know that person in-depthly enough, right? Like, you haven't crossed that threshold of truly knowing, and you are kind of gauging, right? Like, we're human beings who size each other up to like see compatibility, community. It's the same thing you do with friends. Like, I wouldn't walk into can you imagine if we went to the New Year's Eve dinner and I'm just there like in the middle of New Year's dinner, somebody's talking, I'm just like,
no,
like, it wouldn't happen, and I'm not dating those people. But
so do you think that it's false advertisement that you thought that I wasn't a tutor and now you have to wear a gas mask when we watch a movie together?
No, but I also like the aspect that you said that if you're not trying to keep some sort of like, what's the word? Sexual kind of like mystery, like keep it, I don't know. I think there's a fine line between that. And I also believe that if you deeply, for whatever reason, felt some way that me farting in front of you was completely gross, that's your right. Mm-hmm. But that means we might not be compatible, because I'm not going to run into another room 17 years into our relationship to hold in a fart, to like just let it out in the closet to hope that you don't smell it.
That would be impossible.
Like, I would never.
You literally wake up and shit your pants every morning.
Well, I wouldn't. Okay. No, you fart way more than I do. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's even, but that is our morning routine. You come out in your little skivvies with a heart on and just like with your hands down your pants, like
Okay, you just painted. That has never happened.
Did that not happen this morning? And then you go sit on the toilet.
I didn't fart one time when I came out this morning.
You do not sit on the toilet and just let it rip.
You know that like I am not a morning pooper. Okay. So
I'm not talking about this anymore.
I really feel like you're going like this. That's not a true picture of me.
No, I'm not saying you're going number 2.
I don't come out with my hands down my pants and fart and say good morning in a weird like drunk trucker voice.
It's not exactly, but it's similar. It's a very similar morning routine.
Okay.
But I don't care.
I think I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Let's move away from the farting and the whatever.
Well, I was going to. Like, that's where I was going.
Oh, okay.
So my big thing was like I think the biggest thing that I have restraints around is sexual. And
what do you mean restraints?
Like the whole like I used to give blowjobs and I used to do this and I used to do that as when we were dating, and then when we get married, I'm not anymore.
I have to say this is something that really bothers me when I hear other women or couples talking about this of like, you know, yeah, when we first got together, you know, like she was acting like she always wanted to have sex, or she would give blowjobs, and like as soon as we got married, like that changed. And then she's like, yeah, obviously when you get married, like you don't have to do, like you hear that so many times, like when you're married, you don't have to do that. Like meaning blowjobs especially. And it's like, I feel so the opposite of that. Like do you think I'm exactly who I am?
100%.
Never change.
Never changed.
Never change in that way. And I don't understand that concept of like, when it comes to like your intimacy or your sex life, obviously there's ebbs and flows, 100%.
Oh, and we're not even perfect within our
No. Life things, stress. Like, I'm not saying like
kids.
Yeah, like I'm not saying you should like, but I mean like at least who you were then to who you are now. Like as far as like I guess it's more like the whole blowjob thing of like I only do it until I get.
It's a hot topic.
I don't know why. Honestly, too, like. I love giving blowjobs. Like I'll give you a blowjob every single day. Why wouldn't you? It takes less than 2 minutes. It's so easy. Like honestly, it's easier than anything. Like if you know how to give a good blowjob, you're done, honey. Like move on.
Right.
I don't understand why people are so weird about it.
No, I know. I mean, but see, that's the thing is like,
if
you deeply feel that you don't like it,
then
I wouldn't want you to do that while we're dating, because obviously then it's like you find out that you hated it. And like, that sucks. And I also believe, I've always had this belief that if you're marrying somebody, you're marrying somebody, right? And like, I would like to see who you are, because 17, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, like we used to do this and this was awesome. And I enjoyed this. And I was like, okay, she checks all my boxes of what I'm looking for. I'll be interested to see where we grow as a couple long term. Like I'm always looking like, what is the long-term picture? Because I can tell you if that was like the first year or two, and then all of a sudden it just completely quit, to be honest with you, you're human. You're going to find your need somewhere else. And your relationship is going to falter.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, there's a bit of unhappiness, right? Like there is, no matter how you say it, there's something in you that's like, like I feel like you should be excited to have sex with your partner. Like you should be like,
I hope so.
Well, yeah.
But sometimes you just need to get one off.
100%. And I believe that there's also sex drive and there's difference.
100%.
And there's
which we can talk about another time.
Totally, there's all these factors.
Yeah.
I think what I'm getting at is you even see it now on Instagram a lot. They have phenomenal like advertisements, which makes you want to buy something. You buy it and you realize it doesn't even work like what they're saying, right? And like I would hate that for a relationship. So I always have that picture of like, I even told you before we even brought up this topic years ago, I think even before we had a podcast, what did I say about the beginning of relationship?
You hate him.
Hate him.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you feel like you just like to get to the part where you feel like comfortable.
Not even comfortable, like just like I want to see, is this somebody I can live with? Like, are we compatible? Like, is she hiding that? And then the minute, like, and then we have to like go over this, or like I realize that's kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. It's a deal breaker, right? Like, if I was just a filthy pig,
Ew.
right? Like, and I didn't care about stuff and I trashed things, and like, you would be like, yo, like, we need to
But I
clean this
feel like
up.
people, the point is that I feel like people hide those kinds of things because they want
People
the
to like them.
commitment. Yeah, they want to be in the relationship. But then once you get into the relationship, you start to kind of let walls down or feel more comfortable, or you're kind of like, well, I already got him. Maybe I don't have to like impress him as much, or I don't know like what that is. But I don't know. But even just like thinking about it, I guess there is something about, okay, there's a difference between false advertising and pretending to be somebody you're not. That makes no sense to me because it's always going to come out. But then what we were saying before about, there is something about in the beginning, you are putting your best foot forward. Like you're getting dressed, you're getting cute. Like if I'm going on a date with you, I'm not throwing on my fucking wiener shorts and like, I'm going to put makeup on and do my hair. Like I want to look nice. Like, and I do think that kind of fades over time, where when we go out together, I love to get dressed and stuff, but I don't feel like, oh, I need to like always look a certain way. I'm
Right.
always in wiener shorts and like no makeup on.
But why is that? Do you feel you're most comfortable that way?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you feel your most authentic self that way, then like if I don't like that person,
Yeah.
you're going to continue to live your life where you feel like you have to put on makeup every single time when that's not truly your authentic self.
Right.
Right? So like I like that we got to the point where I started to see what your natural state was. And then it's like, okay, this is really cool. I actually like this better than the alternate state.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The fake, I'm going to do what I think he likes, or what I think.
I never did what I
know,
just was
but
like to get ready.
Feel like people do that. Here's another point of just a connection between, it's not a difference between a relationship. I think it's just the way we flow as humans. You're going to go to orientation on Monday. You're going to be working with a whole new group of people. Are you going to get yourself ready for work? Like really ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You're also not going to walk in there and just be like looking at the patient load and just ripping right in front of these new people. You're
Right.
not going to go in and just start throwing F-bombs around because you don't know how they are
You gotta feel
until
it out, yeah.
they feel you out, you feel them out, you start to see the common ground. Like,
Yeah.
do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't speak how I speak at home.
Yeah.
Or on a trip,
right. I know.
right?
But we're talking about work and
I know, but I'm saying as you get into work a little bit more, I guarantee you're going to have an abbreviated version of you getting ready in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? Because now it's like, I know these people. I feel like I showed up as my best self. This is my authentic self.
Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I think, I really do think the best thing you can do in the beginning is just be yourself. Like that sounds so cheesy. Like obviously I'm not talking about like, oh, put your best foot forward and whatever. I'm saying like, don't just like, don't try to be the cool girl or the cool guy or do what you think they want you to do. I think because at the end of the day, I do really believe, and we're not perfect at all, but I do think we did that beginning phase right, where I do feel like we were both just authentically ourselves. Like you saw who I was, you saw all my crazy. I mean, I saw you, like we were just us. There was no facade. It was just like, this is who you are. This is who I am, for the good or the bad, especially in the, like when we actually did first start dating and like all the crazy things, you know, like, but it was all out there, you know, like there was no pretending with us. And I think we were just ourselves. And and I even said that, and I say that all the time with people when I'm talking about just like our relationship and stuff, that I knew that you were my person because you were the only person, like the only man that I had been dating or whatever part of my life that I could feel like I could be my 100% self. Like I was just me when I was with you. And I had the freedom to be myself, and you liked me for who I was. You thought I was funny. You thought whatever. I never felt like judged by you. I just felt like I could just be me. And that is so important in a relationship because the world is crazy. You have to go to work. You have to be a little bit different at work than you are at home, depending on the circumstances that you work in, or like going to work functions and like all these things. But when you come home and you're with your person, that should be your safe place to be like, I'm going to let it all hang out and I can just be me. And I think that if I was just myself and you didn't like that person, like, then we're not meant to be together. Like,
Correct.
And it can be as easy as that.
Correct. So here's my final example.
Okay.
I was going to say, you be your most authentic self to a certain degree, right? And I think like,
I got to go take a shit.
well, right. There's just vulgar, right? There's, and whatever line you want to perceptively, right? But that's your moral compass, right? So what range do you have within your moral compass that fits, right? There's some things that I do probably that disgust you still. And you now can be like, hey, like I get it. Like you're whatever. And I know, I don't know. You just know. For instance, I'll tell you this. My best friend, girlfriend, now wife, now mother of children, like great. Love them both. But she would belch it would turn heads from another room. Like, and she did it all the time. Wasn't just once. If we were hanging out, there would be 6 or 7. And I'm talking loud gut burps. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're not dating. It's my friend's girlfriend. I found it to be obnoxious. Like, come on. Like, you got to know. Once, okay, cool. But 6 times, it's just constant, right? Mm-hmm. And there was didn't matter where we were. I found that to be a little off-putting. Mm-hmm. We would never date.
Yeah.
That was off-putting to me. She's obviously married and they have a great relationship.
Yeah.
So that didn't matter to him. That wasn't under his moral compass, but she was being her authentic self. For whatever reason, mm-hmm. that was her, right? And I actually commend her for that because I found it to be horrible, right? But that means we're not compatible.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I think that's the problem with a lot of like relationships and stuff is people are just pretending in the beginning for whatever reason. Oh, he's into this, I'm into that. She's into this, I'm into that, like whatever. And then the wheels start to come off where if you really want to find like somebody you're compatible with that you don't have to fake shit with, just be yourself, whatever that is, and put it out there. And if it's your person, they're going to love that about you. And if it's not, they won't. And I think it can really be that simple.
Yeah. Do you feel that people sense fake more than they sense, or all right, here, do you think they sense fake more than they're disgusted with authenticity?
Wait, what?
Do you think they sense and feel more of a fakeness? Like if you're doing things because you think I like it, I obviously can sense easier that is not truly your authentic self, so it doesn't land the same way versus you just being your authentic self and me saying, oh, that's a little gross, but I think I could deal with that more than the fakeness.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm feeling confused because I have different thoughts about different things too. It's like remember in the beginning, like I would always watch like sports with you, and I bought you season tickets to the Jaguars, and we had season tickets to the Sharks, which is arena football, and like that was in the beginning of our relationship, and I was never really a sports girl, and I don't really do that now.
You just went to a Denver game.
But I go for you because you enjoy it, and I enjoy doing things with you and things that you enjoy doing. So we could share that together, and it's always fun. Mm-hmm. But I did those things in the beginning and even now because of you. So I wouldn't say that's like I've never been like a sports girl, even though I've always wanted to be. I was like, because like I do enjoy that with you, but that's not really who I am. Like I would never do that if it wasn't for you. So is that being inauthentic, or is that just like you do some things just with your partner because they enjoy doing it?
No, because you care about me.
Yeah.
I mean, I travel with you.
You love traveling.
I mean,
but I did. Yeah, you did start because of me. That's true.
100%. And that just has become our love.
Yeah.
Together.
Or you will. Yeah.
Because I know damn well, you could set up a sports day for me, and that is something that we don't do all the time, and that's going to be a special day.
It's a treat.
Versus if I was in the beginning, it was always about setting up some sort of adventure for you.
Yeah.
Right? So like we just have learned that we both love that. Mm-hmm. So now it's become our hobby together. Right? Camping now and hiking 14ers. That could be something I could see us doing every single weekend.
So last question about this, because I feel like there's so many different directions we can go in, but to close it out, like, do you believe that I gave you any false advertising?
No.
You can be honest. I mean, in any area, like.
No. And I was actually thinking about this. I feel like, this is the first time I'm saying this, and I thought about it while we were talking. I feel like you and I threw out the lowest of the low of each other. And there was a moment where I was thinking to myself, if this is as bad as it can get, like, I think we can work with this. Right? Like, it was crazy, and a lot of people probably maybe wouldn't have survived or whatever, but I realized you showed your faults, I showed my faults, and then we chose as a collective to grow together. Right? And I think we both were at our, like, we were so comfortable with each other at the beginning when we first started dating that I felt like I'd known you for years. Yeah. So then it became this level of just like, all right. And I think that worked because that's the human I am and that's the human you are. I would rather people just give it to me right at the beginning. Like, give me what you are. I can make my own decisions whether I want to continue this relationship or not. Mm-hmm. But I also believe that you and I went into this relationship with, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I think you're the first person where I was like, I'm going to truly be my authentic self. And if it doesn't work, you're not the right person for me. Yeah. And there was no real grab at the outcome, right? And we just clicked, connected, was like, okay, this is bad. But then I thought it was really good because as a relationship grows, you didn't just act like nothing happened and brush it under the rug and like acted like I was the crazy person. You were like, all right, I'm sorry, we need to talk about this. And then I was like, wow, we had a really low, but then we woke up and handled it as a couple and came up with solutions of like, this doesn't work for me. This works for me. This is good. This doesn't work for you. And like, we bridged the gap early on in our relationship. Yeah. So it really secured a foundation of like, okay, we can have lows, but we also are going to talk about it to where you and I both feel like we came out on the other side victorious within our relationship. And our relationship grew every single time.
100%.
Right? Yeah. Even in the worst of the worst.
Yeah, 100%.
And that still continues today. Yeah. They're just not as crazy.
Well, right. Right.
But we built that from the beginning. So I'm so glad that we learned that tool early on in our relationship. Because we had a choice early to be like... But
you're talking about something else.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Why do you think I'm talking about something else?
No, we did learn that very early on, but I think that was more of like a tool in how we navigated conflict and growth inside of our relationship versus I was just asking kind of more in a superficial way of like, do you think that I'm the same person that I was dating, you were dating when we got married?
Well, then on a superficial level.
But yeah, no, I think what you said was great. Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
No?
Because of the fact that like who you are when we dated, this is a 1,000 times new update,
Oh,
newer
yeah.
version, more efficient, better streamlined version, and purest version of yourself that we have grown to.
Yeah.
But when it came down to like the dating aspect, all of those things you've accelerated and not gone backwards.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so no,
Okay.
and you are the same person, but
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. I guess I meant like I wasn't like really faking anything.
no, there's nothing
And
that
I
you,
think like for you, yeah, I feel the same. Like I don't feel like you faked anything.
no, I would hope not. I mean,
I'm trying. I don't think so. Yeah, we've just grown together as people over the years.
perfect. I think that's a good
Let's
way to,
end.
it's a good way to draw a card.
Okay, I do have to go to the bathroom.
No,
I'm about to pee my
no,
pants.
we can
You don't
do it.
understand. I've been holding it for like 45 minutes.
Okay.
Can't you just do a quick cut? Okay, I went TT. Now we are going to pull a card
Somebody
from.
chew on those?
I don't know. I was just thinking like
Oh,
what
it's from
happened.
the hot springs.
Oh, from our deck, Travsessed After Dark,
Whoop.
which is a card deck that we created that's like been an accumulation of all these questions that we've all come up with on our group trips. But the After Dark version is more like relationship-y, and there's some sex and stuff questions, but it's like the juicy convos,
Yeah.
late night juicy convos.
Which
So-
we've also gone through and created a bunch of those questions as well. Just
Yeah,
On
but
our
it's
own,
something
but-
we always do on our trips.
yeah, totally.
Okay.
These are the fun ones.
So we're
when
gonna
the
pick a
cocktails
card.
are out.
Yeah, this is like and it's so funny. What trip were we that everybody just wanted to play After Dark? So we have this deck, but then we have the other deck that's more just like getting to know you
New
kinds
Zealand.
of questions. Yeah, like everybody just wanted to play like After Dark. Like we played so much.
Yeah.
And we kept and and then even our guides played. Oh, that was so fun. Okay. Let's pick a card.
Just, you don't have to shuffle.
Are
just-
we gonna answer the same question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick one card
Yeah,
and we're
one
gonna
card.
answer
Yeah,
that question.
we got to get in, get out.
It's blank.
No, you just got to go.
Oh, but there's two questions.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead.
Okay, we'll do both, but I feel like I already know these. One night stand or long term only. I mean, we're married.
But what's in general though?
For me,
Yeah.
I went through a phase where I was just having fun and doing like hooking up with people, but I prefer long term.
I prefer long term as well, but I don't think there's a wrong with any of them.
No, but there's just like what you think.
We're right. So right.
Okay.
So that's my answer is when you're in that phase, like do you go. Like
Yeah.
have fun, explore.
It depends on what you're looking for. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you believe opposites attract, or do you think similar personalities make better partners?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I mean, I can go.
Okay, you go first.
So everybody always like opposites
Yeah.
attract. I don't think it's that simple,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you and I were very similar in the type A big personality, and that actually came into a conflict, right? Of like, I can't draw all the attention and neither can you. So we were competing.
But we did have that conflict.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
We were similar,
Oh, yeah.
and
okay.
that created conflict.
Ooh, okay.
Where I do believe that opposites also, like if you were a mute and like never spoke with no personality and I was a big personality, that wouldn't work for me either. So like I think it's not opposites attract and it's not similar. I think it's like, this sounds so like, oh God, why is it so to the point? Like, but like, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe we just magically ended up like this, but like, I feel like where my weaknesses are, you have a lot of strengths. And where my strengths are, you have a lot of weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we're opposites in those directions, but they're not competing.
I think that this is such a nuanced answer, right? There's so much gray area. It's not black and white, like everything. I think like opposites attract. There's a line, like you can't have so much difference,
No.
you know, where it's like, the opposite. Like, oh, I love to travel. You always want to stay at home. I'm very social. You never want to be around people. Like, I'm very active and healthy, and you're a bump on the log who likes to watch movies. Like,
What?
when you're, I'm
Bump on a log just likes to watch movies, and you're healthy and active?
yeah, the opposite.
You think that just watching movies and a bump on a log? I would say like stuffing your face with, like having like, you know, soft taco from Taco Bell stuffed in every pocket and like
Okay,
scarfing down.
you
Yes,
get
that's
what
the
I'm
opposite. Not
saying.
watching movies.
No, you're just, I'm active. Like, if like, and I'm not talking about you and me, I'm talking about opposites in general. Or like you want to go hike 14ers and camp, and I don't like dirt, and I don't want to be in nature,
Yes.
and I just want to stay home. Like when you're too opposite, to me, that doesn't work.
Ain't gonna work.
Right? Like you don't want to be so far apart and have such different interests, where I also see this a lot in relationships, and it works for that dynamic because they like doing things on their own.
Mhm.
Right? But if you're somebody, for my personal opinion, I like to do things with my partner. I don't want to do things separate from you. Like I want to enjoy life with you. So you can't be so opposite that you're totally different people or have different values and like that core of what's important to you or what's important. Like if I was very into self-growth and personal development and like a spiritual practice, like, and you wanted nothing to do with that, that doesn't work for me. But then so I actually think being more similar, I think that we're very similar. We're different in like a lot of ways, but I also feel like we have a lot of similarities that are compatible.
Okay.
Right?
That's why I love this card deck, because there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to spark conversation. And I don't think we've ever drawn this card or talked about this, which is why I'm like, oh, we could go on another hour with this. Because like, you're right. Like, number one, you opened up a can. Like there are people that don't mind coexisting as individual people who have joined their lives for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
That was off the table for me from a relationship point of view, because that's how my mom and dad were.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I never wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to like the same shows as my partner. I wanted to have that similarity where we always had that same fun show that we could always watch together, or like, but I also think
Blind spot.
Well, I also think that there's individuality. Like I like my own shows to have my own time, right? But again, if I didn't like traveling, like, so there are those things that we have to be similar. I want to be healthy. I want to, eat good food. I want to, what I'm saying?
To be honest, though, I feel like we're more similar than we are opposite.
100%.
So what's opposite of us? I don't know. Why do opposites attract? Because I think that the thought behind it is that you balance each other out.
No.
Well, why do people say that then?
Do you think it's the same thing as like people said it's really good luck when a bird poops on you?
That's what I mean. Is it just something you say? Because honestly, I don't really want to be the opposite. Like for me, okay, I have a big personality. I like to talk. I like to share. But I'm also, like I don't like to be around people all the time. But when I am around people, I want to, have conversations and like be life of the party in that kind of a way. Like I like to be involved. I'm not a wallflower. I wouldn't want to be with a partner who is a wallflower. So is that balancing it out? Because like you said, you both can't be life of the party, where you and I have had conflict before a lot in the beginning of our relationship, especially because we were both like wanting that kind of attention. And it was like, we were kind of like butting heads, but we had to work through that together and find a balance. It's also something we still struggle with. Like,
no.
Okay. It's something we still talk about sometimes, but putting that aside, because I feel like that's even a whole nother conversation. I wouldn't want to be with somebody to balance out a bigger personality with somebody who doesn't talk at all.
No, I would never want to be that guy that sits back, because also you're very strong. You're a strong female presence, right? And like that takes a different type of guy, right? But if I just sat back and never communicated, like, and you were just the life of the party and out there and like, I don't know. I feel like that gets old after a while when you're like, hey, like, can you come over? Because if you actually care about your partner, you want them involved and you want them in your ups and your downs and all those kind of things. You want them to be supportive. So like completely opposite, I feel like, what are you doing? Right?
I
Like
don't feel
as
like
a
it. I
couple.
think it's a freaking crock of shit now
I
that
do
I'm
too.
thinking about
and
it.
like think about it, if like I as an individual, like I respect people for like what they choose to do, but I don't want to be around people that don't talk or can't have conversations. I might be like, okay, cool. Like, how's the weather? Like, how's the steak? How's football? How's it? But if it's a one word answer, I'm going to literally spend the next 2 minutes with you and I'm gone. I'm going to go find somebody that is more like me
Yeah.
and can take some of the pressure off myself, which I really like with you. We're almost like the best WWF like tag team partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm running low, but you don't kill the vibe of the Kim and Aaron couple.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can take over and I can sit back and take a breather.
Yeah. I'd actually be interested in what other people think about this, because I'm sure, I don't know, like as we're talking this out, I'm like, I think being opposites is bullshit. And I'm interested in other people's opinions of like, no, this is how being opposite works. Because I'm just like, why wouldn't you want to be with someone who's similar?
But being opposite does work for
But
some people.
that's what I
just
mean.
not our...
Right. So I'm just interested in like how that works for other people, because I like that we're very similar. We have the same interests. We like to do the same things. We are definitely not the same person at all, but we're kind of very similar.
We are.
What would you say our opposites are?
I mean, I don't think there's enough time.
I'm just trying to think. So you don't have anything on the top of your head? Because I was just trying to think and I couldn't think.
Sports.
Okay. Sports. Great.
I mean, I could literally go to a whole sporting event. I could.
Okay, I'm talking about personalities.
Personality wise, I don't know, but I also, I don't know.
Are we the same person?
Have we been
We've
so
like
codependent that we've just
morphed into the same
each other?
person? I don't know. I think we're different, but like, I mean, our personalities are different.
Our personalities are different. I think you're actually more like, I don't know. Like, to be honest with you, the only thing I can think of is like,
I'm soft.
You read. I don't like to read. Like, I like to listen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's little nuance
things. Yeah.
There's nuance. I think I have more patience than you. Like,
that's debatable, but that's another conversation. You have patience with day to day.
Yeah.
Not with people.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, okay. So
I'm talking like
very patient with people.
Like,
but I'm not patient in day to day.
Correct. Figuring things out, I'm different than you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, those are the strengths that help a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Puzzle. Like, if we had to figure out something, it's going to be me. Like, that takes time.
You're really, really good under pressure.
Yeah.
And calming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the complete opposite.
Right. So like,
we are different.
We are different, but I think in the things that we love, and that's what you brought in with this question, it's like we are the same. We have the same hobbies. We like the same things.
And we have similar personalities.
And we're also like, think about that if like we were hiking that 14er and you were literally sitting on the side of the mountain being like, I'm not going. But you have an inner grit. You have that, I'm not going to quit. Like, those are innate personalities that like either work or they don't.
Yeah.
And I need to be with somebody that can push themselves out of their limit and kind of take it to the max. Like, I like that. And you have that without ever even needing to coach it. Like, you work out with me. Like, we go to the same workout class. Like, you push yourself. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're very similar.
Yeah, but you get all the compliments.
Okay, here we go. We were talking about this at work.
Because
we cannot go off this topic.
Aaron always will end on this because there's so much more I could say, but we'll end here. But we both work out. We've both been doing all these things, and it's just hilarious. I just like to give you a hard time about it because it's just been so next level. The past 2 months, maybe, anywhere we go, you get stopped and complimented on your physique and your muscles.
It's like
Okay.
by strangers and friends. Nobody says one word to me.
Okay.
It's just like, oh my God, you're so fit. Like, oh gosh, you must work out. Like, oh, you're so strong. Look at your calves. Look at your, and they just like look at me with like disgust.
Do you know why?
Because
And
you're jacked.
This is the truth.
Okay.
Okay. I had a huge
Dick.
transformation. Okay. It was visible. I was a large man who literally had no muscle tone because I lost it all. So now that I've been really focusing on my health and cracking down, my transformation is very visible. Whereas you were very consistent. You always looked great. You always were muscular. You always looked thin. Where if I was 400 pounds and then became 310 pounds, people would be like, you look absolutely great. So that should actually, in my opinion, make you feel better that you're not getting compliments because of the fact that if you haven't changed that much, you still look phenomenal. I had such a drastic change that strangers are noticing. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, strangers didn't know you before. Strangers had no
friends.
clue.
Friends.
Strangers are stopping you on the street to tell you how athletic and like your body. Like that's insane. And you've always had amazing arms. That's one thing I like thought was so hot about you when we first met. Like you've always had like really nice arms, and you do obviously now. You always have. You've never lost that, but they definitely look super cut. Like you're just strong. Like you're hot. Like so I love that you're getting complimented, but it's become the joke because it's funny because you always do and I never do.
But do you see any truth in what I said?
I do. I totally do. It's just funny. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. All right, we'll end it with
calves.
that. Shoulders and
the
veins, the vascularity.
Who said that?
Steve.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, he was talking about your vascularity and your calves. Like, gosh, dude. You should feel good about I want you to feel good about yourself.
I do, but
I wouldn't mind a compliment or two.
You point it out all the time.
Because it's hilarious.
No, okay.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
All right, Mr.
Right.
Muscles.
We're out.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. And let us know if you've listened to this and, you know, just your thoughts on opposites attract versus similar and dating versus being married. I'm just like interested in the conversation. So I love when you DM us and let us know your thoughts and takeaways from each episode. So we'll see you over on Instagram at Kim and Aaron G, and we'll be back next week.
Whoop. See ya. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope that you really, really enjoyed it.
And if you did love this episode, can you please do us a huge favor and just share this with one of your friends? Like just somebody that you think will get value from this episode. It would mean so much to us.
Yeah, like do it now. Like while you're inspired, go now.
Like right this second.
Yeah,
go. Or just like share it on your Instagram story and tag us at Kim and Aaron G so that we can see it and thank you personally for helping us share this message, share this episode, and blow this baby up.
Yeah, help spread the obsession.
Ooh.
You can do that.
Let's get obsessed.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. We are so grateful to be on this journey with you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.